Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. Welcome back to the Guides Network. We're going to talk about a fun topic. This is one of the most fun bites of the year. I'm going to talk to you today about a little bit of shad spawn. Every year, kind of towards the end of the bass spawn, as the bass are starting to get to their later part of the spawn, the bait fish will start spawning. Both shad and brim will start spawning. And the one I'm going to talk to you about today is a grass-related shad spawn. It's a little bit off the beaten path. Not everybody fishes the grass shad spawn. There's another clay point, shellbed point related shad spawn. That's not what we're talking about today. This is a little different one. They get up on these grassy areas, you know, wherever the fish are spawning. That's basically your number one thing you got to do is locate it. And the first way to locate it is basically anywhere that you had a big number of bass spawning, whatever points are adjacent to that at the mouth of those pockets, most of the time, if there's grass on it, there will be some shad spawning on that grass around those points. Now those shad will also get out on big expansive grass flats and spawn on creek channel swings within those flats as well. So it's kind of one of those you got to move around till you find it. But here's the deal: first thing in the morning, that grass is growing up close to the surface, you'll actually visibly be able to see those shad boiling and popping. If you look closely at this footage, you'll see some shad popping in the background. All right, first fish of the morning, Mr. Jeff Partridge right here. Show them what we're doing on the shad spawn this morning, bud.
Oh yeah.
Oh, get the net hung a little bit. There you go. Hold that sucker up for the folks at home, my buddy. Oh man, that's a pretty good way to start the morning on the old shad spawn, ain't it?
Absolutely.
Yes indeed. As you can see, those shad will just be flickering and boiling. The bass will be running through them and scattering them out. It's a pretty easy thing to when you find it, you know it is the best way to put it, I guess. Now, wind helps this bite tremendously, and people you wouldn't think so, but sunlight actually helps this bite too, because that sunlight is what cues those shad to rise to this top and start really boiling and spawning, which is what really gets those fish going. So the ideal day is a little bit windy and a whole lot sunny. You can still catch the fish that are relating to the shad spawn when it's cloudy. You just don't visibly see the shad spawning and boiling as much, so it's kind of harder to locate them unless you already have them pinned down. There's a couple different baits that we use for the shad spawn. These are my main three tools. I really don't use a whole lot else, because when you're fishing heavy grass, you're kind of limited on how you can attack it. Treble hook baits, you know, walking topwater baits, I would love to throw a popper or a walking topwater over these shad spawns. The problem is the grass gets bound up on the treble hooks. You can't really do it. So when I want to go topwater, I pick a shad colored or a white Spro popping frog, and this popping frog actually walks really easy. That's just a mid-sized Spro popping frog. I would suggest using this one or the size smaller, so one of the smaller two sizes. And you just throw it out there, make a long cast where those shad are spawning, and you just put a little bit of slack in your line and just snap it. Just pop, 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 and that bait will walk on you a little bit, and that's all you need. Just kind of an erratic, random presentation or cadence is what you're looking for here. As far as a rod, I like to use a 7.4 or 7.5 heavy action rod. 50-pound braid is very important. When these fish bite and get down in that grass, you want to be able to horse them out. You could probably get away with a mono on this, but I don't like that stretch when I'm trying to put that big old beefy hook in them. I want that braid so it'll stick them good and get them out of that grass. The next one we're going to talk about, something that's a little bit new to me. A fluke is nothing new, but this is a style of fluke that's got a new take on it. And it's made by a guy right here at Lake Fork, Mr. Mark Pack. Legendary, absolute, all-time great guide on this lake, and old tournament fisherman, won some big major events. I mean, he's a fishing mind to end all fishing minds for sure. And he created this thing called Impact Shad. There's the packaging on it right there. But it's kind of a fluke style bait, but it's got that joint in it. That old joint lets that tail swing back and forth. a little bit flatter and broader than your normal fluke. And this bait, when you jerk it and twitch it, it'll kind of dart around like a fluke, but then it glides. It glides a lot more than a fluke. It'll turn and kind of glide to the side, and it gets a lot of bites, guys. As far as numbers go on this grass-related shad spawn, that's the #1 bait of choice right there. And I've got one here rigged up for you. And this is on an Owner 4-aught EWG hook. That's my favorite hook for it, just weightless. Throw it out there, make long casts with it. Twitch, 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 let it sit. Twitch, 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 let it sit. You know, how long you let it sit, that's up to you. Play with that each day. That can be a little different. But that's your numbers bait on the shad spawn right there. And this color that I've been throwing here lately, this is called Houdini. But I'll be honest with you guys, when they're in a frenzy like that, I don't think the color is that big a deal. Anything in some type of a shad type of color. This one kind of has a little bit of a faded white bottom. It's got some red and gold flake in it. It's just flashy and gets their attention, stands out a little bit from those bait fish, a little bit different looking, and that's why I go with that color. But there's nothing wrong with using any type of a white or smoke color, or any type of a shad type color. As you'll kind of see on my next bait. So this is probably my favorite one, and so far this year, this has probably been the most successful one for me. This is the small 4.5-inch hollow body by Smash Tech Custom Baits. This little old bait right here, the whole thing wiggles and shakes, tons of action, which I love in a shad spawn situation, because that's one thing that you have to do. Your bait has to stand out from all that other real bait that's in there. That can be hard to do at times, to not only distract them, but get them to commit and eat a bait that's not real when they have such a plentiful source. And this bait has so much wiggle, and you'll see if you get one and throw it, you'll see how much body wiggle it has so much wiggle that it just draws them to it. And then for purposes of the shad spawn, I like to throw it out there on a Owner 5-aught flashy swimmer. Throw that little blade, that little flash underneath it. That is a great mimicker of those small shad. So between the drawing ability of this bait and the body wiggle and the realistic look of that blade below flashing, to me, this is the perfect tool. It's weedless. You can go through the grass. It is just the absolute best tool for grass-related shad spawn. Now, my setup on this, I just got this rod in. I'm fixing to change over to a whole lot of these rods. And I can tell you, I caught a bunch of fish on it this morning. I am 100% in love with this rod for small swim baits. This might be my favorite, maybe the best small swim bait rod that I've ever had in my hands. And this is the 6th Sense Lures Lux Rod Series. This one is a 7.5 heavy with a moderate fast action. It's got the right amount of tip. It's got the right amount of backbone. I mean, this thing is picture perfect for throwing small swim baits. They should just write small swim baits on the side of the rod. It's that good. But I'm throwing that on that 7.5 heavy, moderate fast action 6th Sense rod, and throwing it on 20-pound fluorocarbon with a 6.3 to 1 gear ratio reel. Just throwing it out there, medium retrieving it. As long as that body's wiggling, it's good. Here's the big thing about this, guys. They're going to hit it a bunch, especially in a shad spawn scenario where they're going crazy. You'll feel them bump, bump, bump. Just keep it coming. When they eat it, they're going to crush it and load your rod up. When they load it up, you hit them hard as you can, reel them in. All right, guys, well, that's it. That's my gear. Hey, the locating part, you got to find the grass. You got to find points at the mouth of spawning pockets, creek channel swings on big flats, and be there early. Look for that boiling, look for those shad, look for all that activity. And like I said, when you find it, you will know. Let me give you a little example. We'll show you a few clips from this morning. Get up in here, baby. All right, folks. That was my first catch right there. There you go, boy. Damn. Yep. On the board, baby, on the board. Get him, boy. I didn't know. Good. Should have been doubled up. Yeah, boy. It's a Lake Fork bass, but smaller.
What's up? It's like striper fishing for green food.
Pretty much. Coming at me like your cousin's Trans Am at 84, Jay. My line like a big fish. He's just a little guy though. He's just a little guy. That's a bass in training right there, huh? Right.
He hit it coming at me, knocks like him alive. Another one right there.
That's it, guys. There you go. As you see, you can load the boat in a hurry on that shad spawn deal. It's, like I said, one of the most fun bites of the year. It happens fast and furious. It usually only lasts about the first hour of the morning or so. So you got to get out there, be in the right spot, and capitalize on it right away. But man, it's a lot of fun. You can really load the boat. Hey, we appreciate you guys watching this as always. Hey, look, if you guys are interested in checking out these 6-inch rods, maybe you want to buy one, give it a shot. Hey, make sure you punch in the code, Your Lake Fork Guide, on 6centslures.com. Right there on the checkout screen, punch that code in, Your Lake Fork Guide. Get a 10% discount on all orders from 6centslures.com. And we'll link these swim baits below. Smash Tech baits will be linked below as well. 6 Cents will be linked below. The Impact Shad, on the Impact Shad, they're selling those at Lake Fork Marina, and I believe he has them on his site as well, which is impactlures.com. M-P-A-C-K, impactlures.com. And Spro Frogs, you can just buy at Walmart. That's going to do it for us today. We really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.